Good evening and welcome everyone. Sorry for the late start to the stream. We had a lot of technical difficulties. We're on round 22 at Albert Park here, and this is Tier 1 on track now, so let's get set up and underway. I believe we're looking at a dry session, so don't expect to see any rain for Tier 1. As we get to the end of the season, let's look down the list and see what we got. So Potsy has DNF'd. I'm assuming he's doing that on purpose, just to start from the back and keep it a little interesting. Also can't risk getting pole. He's on track to win the World Drivers' Championship without actually ever scoring a pole position in the season that he won in, which would be impressive. Make has retired. I don't believe that was on purpose. Let's do an onboard with FIBA. He is currently our provisional pole sitter at a 120.6. He gets out of the way for the McLaren behind him before he starts his lap. Winds up and he's off past the last corner. DRS open down the main straight. DRS on. Let's see what FIBA can do. Kisses the apex beautifully, uses all the track through turns 1 and 2. Trail breaks nicely into turn 3, again using all of the track, pushing the car to the limit. Oh, and he loses it. Good catch though, manages to not put it in the wall. Well done there, as at the same time Mikhail comes across the line and takes provisional pole at a 120.5. Rapid times by these guys so far. Keon in chat, absolutely correct, this is Pondon's home race. Most of our home races actually. As Pondon's in the pits at the moment. See if I can do one on board with him.
Psycho, apologies. I've made it.
We have a Gus. Excellent. Yeah, I was just frantically trying to get everything up and running. And then as I loaded into the game, my computer froze. So that was lovely.
Nice.
So, missed the first 5 minutes.
That's right, I'm still in my cricket white, so it's all good.
Yeah, we missed the 5 minutes, but yeah, we're underway. Nothing too surprising so far, so it should be a dry session. Overcast for the race, similar conditions to Tier 3, where your teammate has managed to score points, which is nice.
What, Jacob?
Yeah, he not only finished the race, he actually finished it in the points.
Wow, amazing.
It's less impressive when you realise only 11 people finished, but still.
To finish first you must finish.
No, he did well. He did really well. And I was just pointing out to the guys as well that Potsy has retired straight away, so I think he's starting from the back on purpose this week, considering he only needs the 2 points really to secure the championship.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we've still got a couple of rounds after this one as well. So he's pretty much got the championship in the bag, but just giving himself a little extra challenge.
Yeah, I believe he only has to come 9th or 10th fastest lap to secure it. So I was just on board with Fever before as he was trying to clock Mikhail's time, and he had a nasty slip, slip on a curb and nearly put it on the wall at turn. I think it was turn 5. Managed to keep it out of the wall though, so that's good. It's going to be a very chaotic race. I think looking at Tier 3, Tier 3 had I think 18 drivers start and only 11 finished. Maxed out on safety cars as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of the tracks that's been around for ages in the F1 games, but it still catches a lot of people out. And there are a few really tricky sections, particularly in Sector 2 with the fast left-right. You get that slightly wrong. So you are meant to take a lot of curb to carry as much speed as possible through there, but you light up those rears on the curb, it's so easy to end up in the wall there. As we saw Apollo Pepsi do a few seasons ago and absolutely cartwheel into the security screening.
Yeah, Kian in chat asked what place only F1 finished. Only F1 finished in P3, I believe.
Ali saying Gus is peaking. By the way, I peaked a long time ago, Ali, but I think he means Mike related. So you might need to turn me down a little bit.
Let's do that. Okay.
Fun fact: while we're on the topic of Ali, did you know that he is actually the Mercedes driver of Big Al's brother?
I did not know that.
It's a little known fact here at AFR that those two are related. But yeah, just throwing that one out there.
I thought one of the big brain plays that they did just to inform more people was I think Big Al's name in Discord at the moment is Ali's brother. Just in case anyone in here wants
surely it should be the other way around. Big Al's, being more successful at the moment in Tier 1. Ali down in Tier 3 at the moment, so surely it should be Big Al's brother. The other way around.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, we'll work with that later. Geordie about to bring it across the line. I know for a fact that this man has only had about 20 minutes of practice this week. So if he does anything in the 21, that'll be impressive, as he does in 21.3. Rapid time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the times at the moment, there's 1.3 seconds separating the whole field, so it's very, very tight here in Tier 1.
Absolutely. They're pretty close. This Geordie parks it completely off track to let a whole train by. As everyone is out now, probably getting ready for their final flying laps.
Yes, Sandeezy was on a flying lap, and he's actually gone into the wall at the final corner. He actually caught the traffic of Batemate, who was on his out lap in the final two corners, so I just wonder if that distracted him a little bit. He ended up running wide onto the curb and invalidated, and it spat him back across into the pit wall, but he's able to keep going. He'll potentially be able to get back to the pits to get another set of tyres before the end. It's still, I don't know, I think my time is wrong. It says 11 minutes. I joined late, so that's probably wrong.
Yeah, this is the thing with our last ones. He's just parking on the gravel, I think, just to get off the track. He did specifically say in chat he's going to try to not be a menace this week. So, living up to what he promised so far.
Hero just retired as well. Looks like he went off in Sector 2.
He actually crashed. Couldn't quite see where he is.
It was an awkward spot. It may have actually just been Geordie going slow for traffic.
Now, Fever did actually just put in a 22, which is a ridiculous time. Mikhail behind him. Couldn't quite catch him.
And Trinair comes across the line. P4 to 120.855.
Sim double jumps him. Or was that Big Al?
No, it was Sim Dogger.
Yeah. Rapid times for these tier 1 drivers. getting anywhere close to the 120s is just, it's a very impressive feat around here, especially in this game. You haven't driven it yet, I don't think, so obviously practice for it, but it's a lot trickier than the last game. Albert Park definitely feels different, the curbs are more dangerous, cars have less downforce, you definitely feel it through the fast corners.
I think everyone's finished their flying laps. Everyone else who's still out on track are either invalidated or given up their laps. So I think this is pretty much it.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's going to be our grid. So congrats to Future on the pole. Mikhail will have to be happy with P2. Big L and P3 pretty standard there. Hero a little further down the starts, but yeah, the standard is obviously Potsy. Not qualifying, starting from the back, so we'll see how many places he can make up. Albert Park, though, notoriously difficult to overtake. It's unless you have a big advantage, pace advantage, it's really hard to overtake a car in front around here.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of it happening in real life or in the game, and strategy-wise, there's not a lot that can happen. You can get a lucky safety car, or make the undercut work from going soft onto medium a little bit earlier than the opposition, but you don't get much of an advantage from that.
Yeah, absolutely. 1.6 seconds really separates the grid, which is just to be expected around here. It's a much more difficult track. That sort of top midfield though is frighteningly close between, like, from Big Al down to T-Mac. There's not a lot of time in that.
Well, there's 0.02 of a second between Trin and Hero for P5, so that's absolutely nail-bitingly close. Artanis just 400s behind them as well.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good race. I think it's going to be intense with these guys, especially through the first couple of laps, and then depending on how it pans out, I do expect a few safety cars. There's no way Tier 1 gets through this cleanly. There's just the racing is just too close. They're just too aggressive. Yeah, there we are, nice and cloudy. Very standard Melbourne weather.
Sunny today.
Not just sunny, it didn't also rain and hail.
No, not today. It was a bit windy today, but no, otherwise it was quite pleasant. Apart from the sunburn that I've got on my feet because I was wearing thongs when I was umpiring, but you get that.
Ah, you're umpiring, okay. I thought for a minute it might be fielding and thongs, which would be
No. Thanks for the follows, TI2008 and Fuzzy TAU. We do appreciate it. So you wait for the last couple of seconds to count down as the drivers finalise their strategies for the race.
Speaking of strategy, AWS completely wrong as always. A couple of guys on the mediums actually. So the go-to around here will probably be soft medium, but you do have to stretch those softs, and the mediums will be aching at the end. So the guys will definitely have to resolve the car either sort of early on or later in the race to get off those mediums.
Yeah, so we've got Make, Pacey and Potsy all opting for the mediums. So we've got a Haas pointing the wrong way already, and it's Smitty. He's spun it between turns 3 and 4.
At least he won't have cold tires. He's catching very quickly. He's quite long. Oh, there we go. That was maybe. Fuba actually setting quite a racy formation lap. He's gunning it.
Yeah, there's a massive gap between Simdogger and Trin there. And Trin's got to kick pace up because he's quite a long way back off the grid.
Yeah, Charlie's well, he's caught up now. He was the gap. I actually taken over now though, so he just got ready to start this race.
Yeah, Smitty's made his way back through the grid a little bit. Possibly just doing some wheel spin with a little bit of a gap to the cars in front, so the leaders are going to be waiting there stationary for a little bit of time. And I'll be taking over Potsy's car now as they come onto the grid and be ready for the light sequence in just a few seconds' time.
Yeah, everyone's regaining their positions. Big Al back in where he belongs. He wants to have a slip as well. Okay, here we go. Good stuff from guys at the front. Big Al getting a massive launch. He's right past Mikau up into P2 already into the first corner. Is it going to be clean? It looks okay so far.
Yeah, pretty tight at the back. Very well behaved from everyone here, going no worse than 2x2. A little bit of banging wheels as they run down to turn 3. Oh, and a bit of contact between the Alfa Romeo combined YouTube and Geordie's Alpine.
Yeah, they're going to want to watch out. They don't want to bang wheels too much around here. Bartol damage will ruin your race. Geordie down to P16. He's definitely had a terrible first lap.
Potsy up 3 places though. He's currently in P15 after starting last.
Having a fantastic first lap. Absolutely flying. We're looking to get him moved done on Condon as soon as he possibly can. Very hard to follow closely through this fast chicane. Just due to the cars ahead, the dirty air, it's an absolute nightmare to be close, but some of these guys managing it better than others.
So Hero's also had a good start as well. He's jumped Simdogger and Trin, moving up into 4th position.
Tier 1 absolutely showing their skill and class. They've managed to finish a lap without a safety car. Oh, as I say that, Matt Dabry, what are you doing, buddy? Whoa. He put a tyre on the grass in the last corner and serpentine all over the track for a bit, nearly taking Potsy out.
Sandeezy is out, he's crashed the exit of turn 3, the Ferrari's on the outside wall, and we've got a virtual safety car deployed. We also had combined YouTuber come into the pits. He picked up some front wing damage after hitting the back of Geordie's car at turn 3.
Interesting under the VFC, I think the 2 Haas drivers were close to each other. They might have just had an overtake as the VFC happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Smitty up 3 positions since the start of the race, so maybe that little spin on the warm-up lap just helped get those tyres into the right window. And both Haas drivers in the points. As I say, that's 2 penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. And we're back to green flag racing, and Batemate's gone off the track as well. He's down to 16th place. He's lost 6 positions now.
He just
he's got a puncture. He's got a front left puncture.
Oh, he must have hit debris from Sandeezy. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, this is terrible for the Haas drivers. A drive-through penalty for Smitty and a front left puncture for Batemate. And just as we said how good their start had been, it's come undone as quickly as we said it.
Gunther Steiner would not be happy. As we enter lap 3, DRS is enabled. A lot of drivers will be very thankful for that. Some of them not so much, especially if you're trying to overtake. So Smitty in the pits. And Batemate will be right behind him. Potsy up to P12 as Condon loses it through turn 2. Oh, I just caught the tail end of that.
Yeah, everyone behind did really well to avoid that. Condon was spinning on the exit curve of turn 3, of turn 2, sorry, and everyone able to avoid him. But he's lost a lot of position. Smitty able to go past him even after serving his drive-through penalty, combined as well, moving up to P16 with Batemate still in the pits, getting his front wing replaced.
That was close. Wow. Potsy and Matt Dabry doing an exceptional job to not hit Condon then. Matt Dabry so far, even with that serpentine technique out of the last corner, he's still ahead of Potsy, so we'll see how long he can keep that position.
True, Potsy up 7 positions now. He's up to P11, so he's almost got it to the points after starting dead last, and it's not even the end of lap 3 yet, so an excellent job from the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, so Potsy is looking up to make up some positions here. Geordie obviously having that contact with combined customs time. He's also looking to climb up into the points playing positions. Fastest laps coming in now, one after the other. Simdog are actually putting the fastest lap.
Yeah, that'll be influenced by the virtual safety cars, so cars further back in the field will have been able to accelerate a bit earlier than those at the front, so that's why you'll see a bit of a discrepancy in those fastest laps. Should see the top guys put in the fastest ones at the end of this lap.
Here goes Potsy, up on the AlphaTauri, and this is the team. Kenny, oh no! Late on the brakes, too late on the brakes, Matt Dabra's going to lose out here.
Yeah, now he's vulnerable to Geordie as well. He's all over the back of the AlphaTauri. Oh, he has to get out of the throttle though. He missed the apex there and just understeered a bit wide onto the exit curb. Had to get right out of it to avoid having a bit of a spin, but Matt Dabra's car does not look very stable. He's very twitchy coming out of the corners.
Yeah, he doesn't look very comfortable in that car at all. I don't know if it's damage or what it might be, but he's braking really early, and yeah, he's just not getting on the power as confidently as you said before. You can see that early braking from Geordie's onboard. That's not looking great for the AlphaTauri driver as Potsy starts to build that gap, making up some distance to make. T-Mac had a spin, second last corner, parked on the exit. Not quite sure what happened there. Lost a few positions.
Geordie makes a move on Mattia Dabry into turn 1. Again, a shocking exit from the AlphaTauri. Just loses the rear mid-corner to the final corner, and through goes the Alpine up into P11.
Now, I did say T-Mac had a spin. I think that was desync. Oh, Geordie!
Big mistake from the Alpine. Runs very deep there at turn 4. Goes into the car park there outside the grandstand there, and yeah, loses position again.
I think he touched the inside curb and just couldn't get on the throttle, unsettled the car.
Yeah, he's dropped out of DRS range now of Mattia Dabry, so all that good work he'd done to get past him was completely undone, and he may struggle to get it back. Just sitting just over that 1 second mark.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt him. Yeah, T-Max desynced. He's flying everywhere on my screen. Hopefully he doesn't cause an issue later on. Potsy has closed the gap to make quite a bit, so he's probably going to try and get past him soon. Make, though, has a lot more ERS. He's been saving battery, so I'd say he's going to try and defend this as hard as he can.
And T-Max just made a move on Trin for P6. Trin now down a net 2 positions from the start of the race, so not having a great start, but he may just be trying to save some tyres to get those softs to last a little bit longer.
The undercut is definitely strong around here. It is, so as I said before, it's so hard to overtake around here, so the undercut is worth it. So we'll see which one of these guys flinches first. I'd say the pit window is going to open at around lap maybe 8 or 9. So we'll see who's gonna make the dive into the pits to try and get an undercut done. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of Big Al, Mikau, and Hero potentially looking to jump FIBA. The next couple of laps. So I did miss that, but Potsy did get past Make on this lap. interesting. So I'm just on board with Jackson now. He actually managed to save up 100% ERS, so he's cruising. Very odd to see a tier 1 driver anywhere close to 100% ERS.
Yeah, well, he's in the DRS train of T-Mac and Trin at the moment, and he's got a bit of a gap. As we see Mattia Dabber, he's just had a massive incident at the exit of turn 2, and he's out of the race, and we have a full safety car.
That's going to bring everyone into the pits. We'll see everyone jump on the mediums now, I believe. And Potsy will definitely be staying out, I think, so Potsy might take the net lead of this race.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. We've got a few drivers to quite a way back. Smitty, 10 seconds behind Pacey. Surely they're going to stay out. Try and make up some of that time after their early pit stops, make it into a 2-stop race.
Yeah, I'd say that would be probably the best move. There could definitely still be another safety car later on.
So this has helped out Batemate a little bit. He's on the medium tyre after that puncture under the virtual safety car. What's how long are the mediums going to last? Are they going to be able to go to the end from a couple of laps ago?
They can, but Batemate 4 laps? No.
From lap 3, yeah.
No way. From probably lap 7, 8, maybe even like 6 at the earliest. From lap 3, no, absolutely no way.
No, Potsy does indeed stay out. Make comes in. Geordie on the soft tyre. Expect him to come in as well, and he does. Pacey coming in. He was on the medium tyre, so interestingly, I wonder if he's going to go 2 softs from here. Smitty is coming in. Pondon as well. Just combined YouTuber and Batemate left at the back. Combined on the mediums. Batemate on the mediums as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Hello, Marcus Cole in the chat, as combined YouTuber stays out.
Yeah, so predictably Potsy stayed out, he'll take the net lead. Everyone else pit except Bait, and combined, as you said. Yeah, Make opting for the soft tyre. A couple of guys committing a cardinal sin there by going on the hards. Simdogger, Pacey and Condon. Definitely not the recommended tyre for Albert Park.
So Apollo Pepsi in the chat just saying that Simdogger's game crashed and the AI put the hards on, so that was not his choice.
Fair enough, I didn't think Sim would make a mistake like that. Alright, well, we'll have a few quiet laps behind the safety cars, everyone catches up. The field's not that spread out, so we might only see 2 safety car laps.
Yeah, that's right, Batemate just coming into Sector 2 now, going just alongside the lake on the north side.
Now that you mentioned that about the lake, we had an Aston Martin crash out into Tier 3, but the car got cleared off the track, but the dot stayed on the minimap, so the sectors where he crashed out, which was around the end of Sector 1, so turn 3. He crashed out and the dot stayed there, so we had double yellows nearly the whole race. It eventually despawned. But the dot kept moving around, so it was sitting at around turn 3, and then it went for a dip in the lake, and then it it went out outside the track again, and then it went out to the beach down at the edge of St Kilda there.
Yep.
And then it just
into the other, have a bit of a drive at the Esplanade.
Yeah, it's the dot just every lap the dot just moved around in that general vicinity. So nice. Keep track of it.
Classic Codemasters. So meanwhile, Simdog and Pondon both opted to pit and change back onto the medium. So Pondon also onto the hard tyres for that first pit stop under the safety car. And they've opted to give up some of that track position to get the correct tyres on those cars.
Mark asking if you can see Sim's car. What about Sim's car do you want to see? I can show you the front, I can show you the side. I can't even show you the rear.
Alright, safety car is in this lap, so Potsy backing up the field, and as he said, he is in the lead of this race at the moment after starting dead last.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to, he's going to have to make one more pit stop, but if we get another safety car, well-timed safety car for him, then he could definitely do a last to first.
Well, I think that's what Make's doing as well, so he's on soft tyres as well. He's the only driver in the field on the soft, so he might be trying to make up some ground after the safety car restart and then just chuck on another set of... Oh, no, he started on the softs, didn't he? So you have to go mediums. That's the right call there for the McLaren driver, but we'll have to see how that one plays out.
Lots waiting really late. Restarts at the last corner. Waited such a long time to do it.
Oh, Hero spun.
Oh.
Hero's down off the air, spun at the final corner. And he is now dead last.
Make on those fresh softs, looking to make a move. Oh, he backs out of it at the last second. Looked like he was going to make a move on Jackson there. As T-Mac goes onto the grass, he comes back on. Oh, forces Make to take a basic maneuvers there. T-Mac. Oh, I think he's got an issue. He's definitely got something wrong with his car.
Yeah, he's missing a left end plate on his front wing, so that's going to be hurting him through the faster corners.
Making a move on Jackson into the second sector there, gets it done before the corner, very nice. Those fresh softs absolutely working for him. He is doing some fantastic driving right now, making up a lot of positions. So Potsy is leading this race, but he does have those tyres. Fever is absolutely right on top of him. He's not letting this Red Bull out of his sight. Make is flying. He's made up about 6/10 of print this last lap. As Phoebe goes side by side with Potsy, still side by side through turn 3, 4. As it goes to turn 5, Potsy's going to yield position. Fresh tyres, one out.
Pacey and Smitty going wheel to wheel through turn 3 as well. Combined picks up our first 3-second penalty of the race for exceeding track limits.
I think those tyres are really hurting Potsy. He's dropping back quite a bit now behind Fever. Big Al's going to want to go past him as quick as he can. Make got past Trim as well, I did miss that.
Smitty and Pacey are still side by side. Pacey, of course, on those hard tyres, so he's not got as much pace as the Haas. And Smitty does get the job done through the fast chicane. London having to get right out of the throttle as he's checked up a little bit by Batemate and Simdogger.
Pacey's looking to get that position back. Oh, couldn't quite do it. Tried to hang it around the outside, just couldn't get around. Those hard tyres really not helping him out at all. Make is just chewing time away, even from Mikau. He's catching Mikau. Shows how much faster those softs are, as Pacey has a bit of a slip on those hards. Geordie looking to capitalise on it. Is he going to make a dive? He is, keeping his nose in there. Really brilliant driving by Pacey for leaving him for room.
Ooh, Hero nearly having another spin there. He's managed to catch back up onto this train.
Oh!
Pacey
lost it!
Oh, and Hero nearly got collected as well.
I was on board for that.
There's a full safety car now.
Oh my lord, he just got on the throttle a little too early, lost it and just spun and absolutely punted the wall and turned into a Beyblade.
So this is good for T-Mac, who's 37 seconds behind the rest of the field, so he'll be able to get back on the train. This is interesting for combined Potsy and Make. Do they come in with 17 laps to go? I don't think Potsy's going to be able to make it to the end on the softs at this rate, so is he going to have to persist with those medium tyres a little longer?
I'd say, yeah, soft can't make it. It's way too far, and the mediums. Well, he can't swap onto another set of mediums, so he's gonna stay out. Yep, I think that's the right call. I think that's the right
In
call.
comes Batemate and Hero. I wonder if they've got a little bit of front wing damage that they're going to get replaced now.
Batemate really not having a good race. As a matter of fact, neither is Hero.
They should be able to slap on another set of mediums to go to the end from here, so whatever front wing damage they do have will be repairable. Hero not getting any front wing damage repaired, so just chucking on a fresh set of mediums. I guess he figured that he wasn't going to lose any track position by pitting. He's still 30 seconds in front of T-Mac, so I guess he can go a few laps fresher rubber, which will give him a little bit more life at the end of the race compared to those up front.
Same with Bate, same thing. No wing either, just sort of rubber and up he goes. So I'd say we're probably one more lap of safety car. Cuba's going to do the restart here, and Cuba typically likes to gun it early. Potsy on those old tyres, I think Big Al is going to look to capitalise, hopefully even get past Potsy at turn 1. If he can get his start right. So we've had 2 safety cars now and 2 VSCs. Does that mean we're done, or do we still have the potential for another? I think there's still a chance for another safety car.
I think we've just had the one VSC, so it should be a possibility of another 1 or 2 to show up.
Yep.
Looks like we're going around again. T-Mac's still about 20 seconds behind Hero, so safety car will wait until the field bunches up a bit more.
I'm surprised with Make. I'm surprised he's still on those softs. They're going to start to hurt now.
Yeah, being behind the safe, like he's been under a couple of safety cars since he's been on those, so they won't be as bad as 6 laps of hard racing. So he might be okay to stretch them out for a few more. But you're right, they will fall off the cliff pretty soon.
Yeah, he has made good use of it though. I think he made up 3 or 4 positions on those tyres, so he has definitely not wasted the rubber. So T-Mac nearly caught up with the field now. I'd say that the safety car should be in this lap, and we'll have some more racing. Tier 1 absolutely not disappointing. Action packed as always. Potsy's lighting up those rears, trying to make sure he's got enough temperature and his restart. There we go. So to go in this lap. So Cooper wastes no time, slows right down, gets the field to a nice consistent pace. And when is he going to gun it? And can Big Al capitalise on Potsy's tyres? He's gone. McCown not getting the best exit there. Make might have a chance here. No, he's too far back.
Okay, mate, having a look at Pondon into turn 1. Oh, he's got right up on the curb. Had to back out of it because he was not far enough alongside. And that's led him vulnerable to Hero as well on the run into turn 3. He's covering the inside. And Hero darts to the inside, goes for a bit of a dive. They're 3 wide going into turn 3. Hero's made up 2 positions. I think he's going to get past Pondon. No, they're going to side by side. Hero right up on the curb. Very risky move. Mate's not going to like that very much. Oh, that was Hero able to stay in P13, but that was some aggressive driving by Hero.
Yeah, that was very aggressive. Big Al taps the wall, nearly loses the car up in front. Make also nearly getting past Mikhail, but the AFR driver just manages to stay ahead of him slightly, which is all you need around here. And if he can do that for another lap, I'd say that his tyre could be gone as Big Al gets past Podsy. Now, as we always somehow find ourselves, our 2 championship rivals are about to clash again. As Potsy's tyres are fading, Mikhail definitely wants to get on the podium, so I'd say he's going to waste no time to try and get past the Red Bull driver. We've got Make as well, keeping up with this front battle pack. Still making really good use of those soft tyres. Make nearly pushing Mikhail through chicane. Goes for a drive up the inside of the AFR driver. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can. He gets past it. Well done. And he'll be hunting down.
Those soft tyres still have a fair bit of life in them, so 8 laps old. Expect them to start dropping off soon.
Yeah, they would be, and I'd say that there's throwing a wrench into Mikhail's plans. Now that Make managed to get himself between him and Potsy. Mikhail be hoping that Make could do the same thing to Potsy. Oh, as he actually pushes the Red Bull driver, nearly loses it. Wow, good catch by Potsy. Really good catch. Make just a little bit too keen to get himself into the podium. As Potsy has a slip, he's on the grass and he's going to lose that position. To Make, still tries to fight it around the outside. As Mikhail hits him. That was not a soft hit. Is that going to be damage to the AFR? Doesn't look like it. Oh, if Potsy's on the grass! Potsy and Mikhail going side by side through a corner that doesn't really allow it, so Potsy having to take evasive action, get off the racing line completely, even take to the grass. Not quite sure what exactly happened, I didn't really see it. But this is now... Mikhail's in the pits, yep, that was front wing damage. Potsy right behind him. These two can not seem to stay away from each other, can they?
Absolutely. It's Big Al, first of our front runners to pick up a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits.
So, Mikhail's thrown on a set of mediums and Potsy's thrown on a set of softs. I think Potsy's made the right call here.
Potsy had to go into the softs, he started on the medium. Mikhail, probably looking at the 11 laps remaining, didn't think the softs are going to be that good in the final couple of laps, so interesting to see how that plays out.
They definitely won't be, but Potsy has got a really good shot here because the softs are significantly faster for the first couple. So, yeah, I think he might have outplayed Mikhail there. Jackson making a move on Trin for 4th place. Trin must have had a really bad exit out of turn 11-12 for Jackson to be able to get past him that easily. Oh, there we go, another penalty for the front runner. Make picks up a 3-second. He's going to have to pit soon. Fresh tyres and a bit of clean air. Hero managed to take the fastest lap of the race at this stage. As T-Mac also gets a 3-second time penalty. They're coming in thick and fast now. Batemate looks like having a bit of a squabble with Geordie down there for 10th place. He manages to get past the Alpine driver. Geordie doesn't look too happy about it.
Yeah, T-Mac tried to capitalise as well, but run out of space by the Alpine in front of him, and he's right on his gearbox. He's going to try and go around the outside, and the Alpine brakes a little bit early, lets the Mercedes through. He does have that 3-second penalty, so Geordie might just be playing the long game here.
Yeah, smart decision by Geordie, I think. Hero on Combined. Combined not getting a great exit out of the turn 11-12 complex, so Hero will cruise past him. Back up into 7th place. Hero recovering much better from his woes at the start than Batemate has managed to be able to do. Now Potsy is 2 tenths behind Mikhail as he goes around the outside into turn, I think it's 13. Still gives him a bit of room. Mikhail taps him but manages to keep the car on track.
Yeah, a bit of a silly move there from Mikhail. He's on the harder compound compared to Potsy. He was never going to hold on to that position. Risked a bit of damage to both him and Potsy there by trying to keep that nose in. And Potsy already a second and a half down the road.
Pondon going side by side with Batemate. It looks like Batemate's going to get a better exit. They're still side by side. That's very risky as Pondon manages to... Nope, they're still going side by side. Batemate gets a better exit. Let's see what these guys do through this complex. Pondon, Batemate. Nope, it's definitely going to be Batemate. Just manages to get the power down a little bit better, gets good acceleration and manages to pull ahead. Really risky going side by side there, but gave each other plenty of respect and plenty of room.
Oh, Simdog is in the wall, pointing the wrong way at the back of the field. He's had a little bit of a spin there, that little chicane at the start of Sector 2. He's got it going again, and it looks like it's okay, but Make and Pondon are both out, and so's Geordie. What's happened up there? They've all crashed at the exit of the fast chicane, and there is a full safety car.
I don't know, I didn't catch that on stream. Pondon, Geordie and Make.
Guessing someone's hit the wall, bounced back onto the track, and yeah, there are 3 cars. There's 1 car in the wall and 2 in the middle of the track.
Oh, I saw that from Potsy and Mikhail's perspective. Yeah, they're just trying to dodge these.
Everyone is pitting. Everyone in the top 10 is pitting. We've got Potsy in P10. He's 17 seconds behind T-Mac now.
Everyone on fresh softs.
Yep, Potsy comes in, and Mikhail comes in as well. And Simdog, who had that spin at the start of the lap, is about to come in as well.
So, to secure the championship, Potsy only needs 2 points. So if he manages to get past T-Mac and holds that position, he will win the championship. Which is not what Mikhail would be hoping for, but I don't really think he can do anything about it at this point.
T-Mac also has a 3-second penalty, so at this moment, Potsy will win the championship in this race.
So it was also a very Potsy thing to do to win the championship by the absolute bare minimum amount of effort applied. Like, I need 2 points and he'll get 2 points.
Couple of races still to go, so it's not that close.
No, it's just a very Potsy thing to do. But no, he's driven exceptionally. He's had some fantastic performances, and just showing, it goes to show that it is all about the race, not about qualifying, for the fact that he will, I mean, even if it doesn't happen this race, he will win this championship. And if he can do it without scoring a single pole position, that just goes to show how little pole actually matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I do wonder though, Mikhail right behind him on fresh tyres as well. Are we going to see a little Michael Schumacher move or something? Just, you know, you hit the wrong part of him, my friend, situation.
It could definitely happen if Mikhail wanted to make Potsy wait another week.
Well, if he DNFs there as well, you never know.
Very, very true. Oh, we didn't actually see that, or should we? I'm sure someone would have clipped it. Alright. I'd say this will most likely be the last lap of the safety car, as Simdog is nearly caught up. So we'll have about 7 laps of racing, which is pretty perfect for these soft tyres. That's about what they can do before they start fading. Gab in the chat, I'm not sure why Mikhail has 53 as his number. I've never asked him. That just looking at the safety car, that safety car's colour scheme is very similar to this year's Aston Martin, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's got the nice lime green trim on it, and it's traditional colours of their endurance racing. As we get the confirmation safety car will be in this lap.
Okay, so FIBA has been in control over this race pretty much the whole time, apart from that short stint where Potsy was leading. So we'll see what he does. He tends to restart quite early and doesn't really leave his opponent much time to react. So we'll see what he does this time around.
I think he's gone.
Very predictably restarted super early and gained already half a second on Big Al. As it looks like Smitty might have had a pretty good restart. He's close to the back of trend, not close enough to make a move, but he'd be happy with that. Potsy on the back of T-Mac using quite a bit of battery. Won't get past him here unless he goes for a dive. No, decides better as Combined and Batemate go side by side. Hero looking to capitalise on that. There's a bit of argy-bargy as they move through Sector 2.
Potsy goes for a move down the inside of T-Mac, and it looks like he's got the job done.
He has. Oh. Massive battle in the midfield here as they're all fighting for that 7th position. Hero looking up the inside of Bateman into turn 11, gets it done, but compromises his exit as Potsy is going to capitalise as well on Batemate. Looks up the inside. Can he break later? Batemate doing really well to leave him just enough room. Potsy can't quite go past here. Very late dive by Potsy. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. But he's going to get him down the main straight, gets better exit, and he'll get past him. Hero getting past Combined as well, as they're still side by
he's
side.
still keeping it in there. Of course, there's no DRS yet. But I think Batemate's just run out of juice now. T-Mac gets past him as well. Mikhail looking down the inside, decides to play it smart. Can see there's going to be a closing gap there, backs out.
You can go 2-0 through that corner, but you can't go 3-0 through that corner. Unfortunate for Macau, just couldn't get past. Now all he can do is watch as Potsy sails off into the distance. That's unlucky. Sindogger must have something else wrong with this car. He can't already be 6 seconds behind.
Yeah, I think he's got some bodywork damage on that Ferrari.
Yeah, must do. Potsy making a move on combined as well. I didn't expect him to do it that quickly. Mysteros is only enabled now. Potsy is on the hunt. He definitely wants to see how high he can climb here. 4 laps to go. Okay, so Pepsi in chat pointing out that he has orange side pod and floor damage, which would explain his lack of pace. Bait and Combined still having a bit of a scrap. It looks like Bait is going to retake the position, so we'll be happy with that. Both of them pretty much draining their battery to try and get ahead. As T-Mac is now looking to make a move on Combined as well. Combined just dips the tyre into the grass. That's going to cost him, and T-Mac is going to try and capitalise on it up the inside of turn 11. That's pretty risky, as they don't really yield.
Oh, Mick had to get right on the brakes to avoid hitting the back of the Alfa Romeo.
Oh, that's
They completely parked it on the racing line there.
That's so dangerous. Oh. They're so lucky that those cars didn't glue together. Very risky by both of those drivers. That was very silly by them both, but yeah, luckily everyone's still driving. Combined has actually ran out of ERS completely. He's used everything in this fight.
Got a yellow flag. Smitty has spun. He was sitting up in P5, and he's had a little incident on that curb, so just go past him there, and he's down to P11.
Oh no, he was having such a good race.
Yeah, after that drive-through penalty earlier on for speeding on the virtual safety car, he really had a good comeback into the top 5, and unfortunately he's just thrown it all away, and he's now 7 seconds outside the point, so he's not even going to get a position with these penalties with T-Mac and Combined.
Yeah, Combined is just holding Macau up at this point. Macau really in a hurry to try and get past him to see if he can score some more points, but Combined is just a roadblock. There he goes, gets past. That's cost him so much time though. Combined using all his ERS just means he's just had no energy to try and stay ahead. Down to P10 now, but he should hopefully hold that position and still end up in the points.
Heroes also picked up a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits, and that'll give Potsy P5 if the gap remains the same, which is currently at 2.4 seconds.
Fantastic recovery from Potsy. Didn't have a good start, had a couple of issues during the race as well, but he's recovered exceptionally well. Great drive so far. As I've just been keeping an eye on the front runners, so I was under the assumption that FIBA had control of this race, but Miguel has slowly been closing that gap, and I thought FIBA was just saving ERS, but looking at FIBA, he's nearly completely all out of ERS, so we might have a bit of a battle for the last lap.
Yeah, Miguel does have a time penalty though, so I don't think FIBA will battle too hard. It's pretty safe to say that he'll pick up the win from here.
He should pick up the win from here. You're right, but you know, these T1 drivers, they They like winning it on track.
Of course, last weekend Fever came so close to getting the win, staying out on the intermediate tyres whenever on pit for slicks. It nearly paid off, but Potsy, of all people, got past him on the second last lap. So he'll be looking to try and get the checkered flag in the lead for sure, as Trin makes a move past Artanis.
Artanis must have made a mistake, because Trin wasn't really close enough to do that. Yeah, Trin close enough to capitalise on the mistake by Artanis. If Artanis is smart, he wouldn't battle. He needs to try and stay within that penalty gap to Big Al, which Trin is at the moment, but only barely. Icing on the cake for Smitty there as he gets another penalty.
That's his first 3-second penalty. He retires as well. It's unfortunate for the Haas driver. Oh, we've got Heroes out. He's crashed at the exit of the fast chicane.
Oh, I see him.
On the second last lap.
Okay, that's not ideal for the Williams driver. He's not going to be very happy with that at all. Yeah, okay, so Hero out of the points. That means everyone that finishes this race will get points. This has been a race of attrition more than anything else. It's been like Monaco, really.
Well, huge shout out to Simdogger here. He's got orange floor and side pod damage, and he has just passed Hero's crash site, and he is in the points. Tonight he gets point.
Yeah. Oh, Mikhail had a slip off and turn 2. Hit his wing on the wall as well. I don't know if that's any damage. It probably is. So he's
certainly looks okay from the off-board shot, but yeah. Oh, his teammate takes a big excursion just up the road across the grass in his battle with Baitmate for P6.
Oh, he just absolutely murdered himself. Not Simdogger. Combined, very lucky there. Combined drove right over his front wing. Very lucky to not get a puncture from that. As Jackson and Trin are still fighting side by side in this last lap, they're not going to give it up. Still side by side into the second last corner as Jackson, slip on the acceleration, gives Trin the position. Trin's going to finish in third. As on board with Potsy, as Potsy crosses the line at Albert Park in 5th place, and he will secure the World Drivers' Championship for Season 8 in AFR in Tier 1. So, big congratulations to Potsy.
Yeah, well done to Potsy, well done to Fever as well for securing the win. Big Al still gets P2 despite his 3-second penalty, just far enough in front of Trin, who comes home in P3. And we've got Artanis, Potsy, Bankmate, Mikhail combined, Simdogger. And we'll finish the race. T-Mac DNF'd on the last lap. He will get a point as he is classified as a finisher. But yeah, weird end to that race with half the grid decided to crash out.
Simdogger crossing the line with half of a Ferrari still manages to get 2 points. And Potsy, rightfully so, gets driver of the day. He had an exceptional race and an exceptional season.
Right, that was such a fun race. Oh my god.
That's Rydog. Let's go.
Bro, how did I get DRS? Did you? Where's the
to mute these
activation
guys so I could
point?
just hear them complaining and yelling.
If you got it, you might have got me. I don't know. You were right up my arm.
Well, thank you guys very much for joining us for Tier 1. This has been Psycho and
Good racing.
Gus.
Good racing,
Stick
Carl.
around.
Good racing, mate.
We'll end the stream briefly, but then restart it
Jackson,
for
at least you
Tier
didn't spin in the
2.
last few laps. Living trend.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us, and
Wait, did I
stick around.
the
See you
Grand
guys soon.
Slam?
See ya.
Might have, yeah.
Oh no.